We'll do it live!
MKBHD caught speeding in a school zone. Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, have the mighty fallen. MKBHD is in more controversy, and no, it's not from the panels app that he charged a monthly fee for. This one's actually a little more egregious. So,
oh, I remember the panels app thing. Yeah, that was basically MKBHD is like the consumer guy, right? The consumer. I don't want to say consumer rights, but he's like the consumer based guy, right? He's like, oh, this product fucking sucks. It's valueless. It's nothing. And then he ended up launching some kind of product. It was like a wallpaper product, and I believe it was. I could be wrong. I think it was $50 a month. It could have been 50 a year. I'm gonna lean more towards 50 a year because 50 a month seems too insane. But it was like he just launched a really kind of like whatever product that kind of like didn't have a lot of value and seemed kind of silly to buy in the first place. And, you know, it's kind of, it doesn't seem hypocritical inherently, right? But the problem is that he is like this is a shitty product guy. This is a worthless product. So it's like, why even chime in there? You know what I mean? Why even drop a product like that when you are literally that guy? You know, it was free, but you can pay for higher quality. There's 50 a year. Okay, gotcha.
Recently, he made this video, and I have this video right here. And basically in this video, he's reviewing some tech, right? Typical, he's reviewing this action camera. And people have been saying that this whole video is an ad, but you know, that's beside the point. So during this, he decides to test the camera and he gets in his car and he starts to go fast, right? That's right around here, right? See, boom, it's going fast. That's what's happening, right? And you're going to notice, right? It only happens for a split second. And someone made a compilation of this, of what's happening. So he's actually driving in a school zone. And he's going 96 miles an hour. So someone made this.
How do they know it's a school zone? It looks like he's in the middle of the woods. How do they know it's a school zone?
So you can see exactly what happens.
All right, so we see he was going 40. Blurs the main. Oh, he blurred the main speedometer, but didn't blur this one on the side. What car is this? A Lambo? What car is this? It is a Lamborghini. Okay. 96. Holy shit. 96 miles an hour. That is insane. I mean, you know, I'll be the first to say I don't particularly care that he was speeding. I don't think speeding is a good idea. It's obviously much worse if he's speeding in a school zone. I don't think he should be doing that. I think that's probably a pretty bad idea. The thing is, I don't have a lot of room to talk on this because when I was 20, 19 or 20, I don't remember, 2 or 3 years ago, I went like 65 and a 25. I got pulled over. It was a serious thing. Now, obviously, I have remorse and regret for that. I don't think it was a good idea. I don't drive like that anymore. But, you know, that was like the one time I drove like a fucking dickhead and I instantly got caught. So that kind of taught me a lesson pretty quickly. Like, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. It's 96 kilometers an hour, which is 69 miles per hour. Oh, because he's like Canadian or something. Okay, interesting. Honda Civic. It was a Honda Civic. It was it wasn't even a Type R. It was just like a normal Honda.
So, yeah. So that happened mid video. So of course, you know, it's not the best thing to have when you're trying to say that you're authentic. So of course people are upset about this. People are telling him to take down the.
It's not the best thing to have when people say you're authentic. Wait, I don't understand. Are they saying he's lying about the speed or he's being inauthentic about the speed? I feel like him being authentic is not the problem. I feel like the problem is probably him going that fast in a school zone if it was really a school zone.
Mid video. So of course, you know, it's not the best thing to have when you're trying to say that you're authentic. So of course people are upset about this. People are telling him to take down the video. People are saying that this is disingenuous, but also people are upset at him because they thought that.
Wait, am I missing something? Wait, is it disingenuous because he censored the speedometer?
So yeah, so that happened mid video. So of course, you know, it's not the best thing to have when you're trying to say that you're authentic. So of course people are upset about this. People are telling him to take down the video. People are saying that this is disingenuous, but also people are upset at him because they thought that you know, and I don't think this is him because I don't think that MKBHD edits his own video. So this is just to give, you know, to play devil's advocate here. I think that this is his editor. This is probably his editor trying to cover it up, but he only starts blurring it after he hits 50 miles an hour. And you can hear the engine roaring. So you know also it's a Lambo. It goes fast.
Okay, so the inauthentic part is really just that he tried to cover it up, right? That would be the inauthentic part. How my video gear is changing. Cut out the unnecessary driving clip that obviously added nothing to the video. Oh, added nothing to the video. Is that really why you removed it though? Added nothing to the video. I mean, it's cool to drive fast. It added something to the video, but also it's illegal. So I hear all your feedback on sponsored videos too. That was fast, big oof. Cutting out felonies doesn't make them go away. I'm curious if we would ever get charged for this. Would a cop see this video and be like, we need to arrest this guy. We need to bring him in. Wow, I cannot believe this. I remember a time when MKBHD said he would never make a fully sponsored video. Now here it is, an entire 9-minute video that's just a sponsor. It seems like the audience is turning on MKBHD a little bit ever since that whole wallpaper scandal. What was the wallpaper scandal? I want to kind of understand this because I'm not really in the realm of this tech content. I used to watch a decent amount of tech content. Like I want to say when I was like 12 or 13, I was watching like MKBHD, Austin Evans, people like that. MKBHD fans revolt after he released a shameless cash grab wallpaper sub.
So in surprising online drama news, it was actually one of the most requested stories today. MKBHD, aka Marques Brownlee, is coming under fire, and it doesn't appear that everyone is on his side this time, right? And that because a lot of people have said he just released a shameless cash grab. With this coming from him launching an app called Panels, which offers curated wallpapers for iPhones and Android. With him writing yesterday, I'm so pumped to be launching this app. People have asked where I get wallpapers forever, so this is the answer. Now and forever, Panels. With Marques also announcing this in his most recent video. And one of the big things is that there are two ways to sort of experience this app. The first is for free, right? No subscription. And the second is by paying for a version called Panels Plus, and that costs either $50 annually or $11.99 per month. With that reportedly being ad-free, having more collections, and offering higher quality images. And based on a quick flyover of the app, you need it to unlock full resolution of a wallpaper, or without the subscription, you watch an ad to unlock a lower resolution. Right? And this subscription model plus a few other features, it really seems to have pissed people off. With people saying things like, insane how the biggest tech reviewer who is all about honesty and advocating for good quality releases a cash grab app with a laughable UI design full of ads with mediocre wallpapers. It just feels like Marques slapped his name onto something not worthy of his name.
This is the thing. It's confusing to me why he even wanted to launch it. It's not that great of a product. It's not like the worst thing ever, but it's not a great product. And on top of that, I feel like his brand is much more valuable, like much more valuable than whatever he would get from this little, you know, call it whatever you want, cash grab product, kind of like quick money making thing, right? I feel like his brand is much more valuable than that. You know, he's a guy who brands himself on very harsh critique, on being very harsh to these products, on shitting on them. I mean, there was that whole product not that long ago. It was some kind of little like AI powered camera thing that you use that ultimately he determined was like completely useless. And I think he basically destroyed the company's, I don't think they had a stock price. He destroyed their sales. Like they were just fucking nothing based on that product because he reviewed it and he was like, this is fucking shitty, right? And like his brand is very valuable based on that, right? Rabbit AI. Yeah, I remember that. Seems like a nothing burger. Well, it's not a nothing burger. I mean, it maybe compared to like a file drama, it's a nothing burger. But the thing here is like, you know, I don't know that it's like the end of his career, quote unquote, but it is interesting to think about the fact that MKBHD is a guy who's built his entire brand on being the guy who honestly reviews products and shits on them if they're bad and useless. And then he releases a product that's, you know, I don't know if it's completely useless, but it's not that great. It's not really necessary. Like he's built up a reputation for a long time on YouTube as the guy who is critical of products and reviews them honestly. So, and he's got a lot of money already. I mean, he's driving a Lamborghini, right? He's driving a Lamborghini in the video. He's a multi-millionaire. There's no reason for him to do one little shameless cash grab product like this. So it's like very perplexing to me.
Others noting at that monthly rate, you're paying the same amount for wallpaper access that you are with Spotify.
He's probably out of touch with people who aren't rich. Well, I mean, the thing is he may be somewhat out of touch like in his personal life, but the way that carries into his reviews is like he generally, I feel like has a pretty good ability to value certain products well, you know, like he's not going to be like, oh, this product's $500, so it's just like you should just buy it because that's nothing, right? I don't think he says stuff like that, even though obviously to him he could probably wipe his ass with $500, you know.
Tons of people upset about all the data disclosures with people getting notifications asking to track location and app activity. Others adding, this is insane for a dude who shits on products people work for years to bring to market. Like, stay on the sidelines. Why lose stature for this? And if you go to that latest video of his, all the top comments are negative, and some even acknowledging that, saying it's a rare occurrence, but MKBHD is actually getting cooked in his own comments section. But with all this, we actually saw Marques responding to all the backlash this morning, writing, part of building in public is getting mass feedback immediately, which is pretty dope. Almost exactly like publishing a YouTube video. And adding, first thing we're doing is fixing the excessive data disclosures as people rightfully brought up. For transparency, we'd never actually ask for your...
You only have to pay for super high resolution versions of the wallpapers. You can get them all for free. Well, I mean, couldn't you just get a high resolution wallpaper off fucking Google Images? Like, you know what I mean? Is it that great of a product in the first place? Like, the problem is not like it's optional to pay for it. It's optional to pay for every single product out there, right? You don't have to buy anything really. But his entire brand is built on like, is the optional product you don't have to pay for worth paying for at all, even if you have the money to, you know, dispense on it?
your location, internet history, etc. The data disclosures that everyone is screenshotting is likely too broad and largely driven by what the ad network suggests, working to fix that ASAP. Then, regarding the pricing criticisms, he said he hears the concerns and noted two things. Arguing one, that it's a challenge to deliver high value for the premium version, but also noting that ad frequency will be dialed back on the free version. We also saw him reply to more direct criticisms, like when someone shot back that it was silly to even bring a wallpaper app to the market. Marquez saying the target market for this is insanely small. Most people don't download a wallpaper app. This is for those who have been asking. If you're not into it, don't worry about it. And clarifying that profits are shared with the artists who make the wallpaper. We also saw him address rumors that he just bought the IP of an app developed back in 2021 and threw a logo and a price tag on it by explaining it's just false. The Twitter account is from 2021 because it's a salvaged username.
The thing is, I think all these points are very valid. It is a small market for people who want it. You don't have to buy it. I completely agree. But the difference is, if it was me selling this, or if it was like fucking PewDiePie, I don't think it would be that big of a controversy, because it's like, we're not people who are reviewing tech products every day and determining if they're valuable or not, right? But MKBHD is that guy. So obviously it's gonna, have a little bit of backlash for him personally. I mean, I'll have to see his response video to see what he said about it and how he justified it. Maybe I'll agree with him completely. But I just think it's kind of silly for the guy who, even if, okay, let's say a lot of the criticisms are unjustified, a lot of them are dumb. Let's say all of them are dumb even, right? For him to risk his reputation on a product like this just seems very silly.
From an inactive account. The app was built from scratch. But of course, with all that, you still have people upset about the pricing. Some even saying Marquez needs to be careful and make sure this isn't his own Lunchly situation. Though there, I would say that is a crazy oversimplification, right? One is a YouTuber releasing an app that I personally wouldn't buy, and in the eyes of many is excessively priced. And it also opens him up to criticism because, you have people saying this app, it goes against things that he's bashed other companies for. Whereas a big core of the Lunchly criticism is you have food that isn't necessarily great for kids being pushed to kids based off of the three creators that are behind it. And in fact, on the note of nutritional concerns, especially for a product that's geared towards children, Dr. Mike just did a great video on it.
Yeah, so I want to see MKBHD's response, because I know he made one, but I actually haven't watched it. Let's talk about panels. This is his response video to all this drama. I'm curious to see what he had to say.
So last week, I launched a project that I was really excited about, that we've been working on for a while, a wallpaper app called Panels. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way, including the fact that I didn't really explain anything. I didn't explain the UI, what was in it, the point of the app, and most importantly, why it had a friggin' $50 price tier. And so appropriately, the entire internet was very disappointed, and that's 100% on me.
Okay, so I mean, right off the bat, he's acknowledging, at the very least, his communication was very bad. His communications were very, very bad with the product in the first place. So, I mean, that's a good thing to get off, off his chest off the start. But I'm very curious what his justifications are going to be and if he's going to walk back any of the product. Sponsored by Gamer Subs now. How do you like it? I love it. It's good. It's good stuff. And I highly recommend you all use code TOM at checkout for 10% off your order, or go to gamersubs.gg/Tom to check out some free samples available for a limited time only. Okay.
I think that's part of what can happen when you spend a long time building something, that you forget that other people don't have that context. But the point of this video is not to make excuses. It's to actually break down and explain everything so that you have it straight from me. Now, first of all, and I'll get to pricing in a second, but just right from the top, a wallpaper app, pretty niche thing, right? Like, most people will just use one of their own pictures as a wallpaper or grab something cool from Google. That's something I've done many times over the years.
Yeah, I've never really, I guess I'm somebody who doesn't really care about phone personalization very much. It's never been a thing I really care about, but it's really hard for me to understand somebody who's going to spend money on I mean, is it like the coolest, most interactive wallpaper of all time? Is it like the sickest wallpaper where if you show it to girls, their pussy starts dripping out of their fucking panties and they can't resist you? Like, what exactly is the inherent appeal to this wallpaper, Like, what about it is so good? What about this wallpaper app is so ground fucking breaking?
So it's a very small fraction of people who will actually download an app, let alone pay for a wallpaper on their phone. But the reason I decided to try and make a wallpaper app is because for years I've been answering this one very common question, which is, where'd you get that wallpaper? Like, in videos and screens and devices I'm reviewing, where'd you get that piece? And so if I could always have some place to point to that's on iOS and Android, if I could have a link in every description, then that would be awesome. And if I can leverage this incredible platform you guys have given me to give way more eyeballs to the artists that make that art that I'm using, I felt like that was something worth building. It's actually
Okay, I mean, that is actually, it is a cool kind of idea, right? You get to use your large YouTube channel to promote a product that you like and use, and then you also get to, you know, promote the artists themselves and, you know, get money for them. That's obviously pretty good. That's obviously a pretty good thing. I think that's ultimately beneficial. You know, I would prefer that the money go to them. Although I will say, it seems like a lot of real artists are taking money from AI right now, and that's kind of gross. Like, you know, the AI is just not making the money it should. You know, a lot of these real artists, they're slaving away their Wacom Cintiq tablets. They're drawing the most beautiful wallpaper of all time. But what about the poor AI? You know, AI is going to be homeless soon. What about them? Shout out to all the AI. All right, we got to help them, guys. We got to help them right now.
actually an idea that's been floating around the studio for years, and we never really knew where to start. But then, like a year and a half ago, a developer reached out to us with a similar idea, and we were like, all right, this is great. Let's collaborate and let's actually build this thing. So many months ago, myself and a developer team of 2, along with some others on my team here at the studio, set off to build this thing, and this is what we ended up with. It's a fresh new app. There's a few hundred pieces in here, and then on any page, if you like it, you can get it, but you can also click on the artist's name and see more from that person, including their socials. So this is something specific that sets it apart. Now again, most people, like 99.9% of humans do not buy wallpapers. But there is a pretty awesome community of artists making sick art, sometimes free, sometimes a few bucks. I know from being in the thick of it for many years, I've personally
KSI reference?
gotten very used to poking around and finding a sick wallpaper or icon pack and go straight to the source. And it's a few bucks and you download it straight from there. And we wanted to support both of those in this app, free art and paid art. So this
I mean, so it is a niche thing. I don't know if I would say the product is like completely useless, but to most people, it's going to be considered relatively useless when you can just get a wallpaper, right? But with that in mind, I think that, you know, once again, I think the point still stands that MKBHD is the guy that shits on products. And so if he releases any product and it's not absolutely necessary, absolutely base, and absolutely like tippy top shape, it's going to be shit on, right? It's going to be shit on. And that's not really surprising to me. It's not really surprising to me that there was some level of backlash.
This is where a lot of the pricing conversation comes in. And this was a misjudgment on my part. Like, this is also terribly communicated. So I want to make super clear, this should be a free app. This should be a great free app experience for the vast majority of people who use it. And I really dropped the ball there. And obviously, I've never made an app before. I make videos and review products. But the people were right. Like, if I was reviewing this app, I would not have been very nice. But this is the two-sided coin of, you know, deciding to now go build something in public. Is if we're gonna dish it, we got to be able to take it too.
So I think that it's good that he's acknowledging here that, like, if he reviewed this product, he would shit on it and he wouldn't be nice to it. So in my opinion, I mean, he clearly seems at least self-aware of the fact that, like, it's somewhat hypocritical for him to release this, or it's somewhat ironic, right? It's somewhat in bad taste to his audience, because obviously if he reviewed this product, he'd be like, why the fuck would you pay for this? Nobody needs this. You can just download your favorite album wallpaper off of Google, right? Like, you know, my wallpaper is Homesick. A Day to Remember. Cool wallpaper. Didn't pay for it. Found it on Google. And if I had to pay for it, I probably wouldn't. And instead, I would just get a picture of the Roblox chicken nugget or something. All he has to do is say, I try to make more money by doing next to nothing. I'm sorry. But the thing is, if he says that, he's going to look like a complete grifter, because the entire point behind his channel is that products should be good, regardless of the price tag, regardless if you have to buy them or not. The product should be good. So he kind of shoots himself in the foot by saying something like that.
There has been no shortage of tons of actually constructive feedback that we've taken notes on, and sort of started to turn into this app that we had pictured in our heads. We're sort of dialing in what we actually want to make. But hey, a lot of people have a lot of questions now. So for the sake of transparency, let me just go over the biggest questions, give you the answers to those questions, and then some of the biggest updates that we've made so far. So number 1, pricing. Nobody wants to pay that much for wallpapers. Totally get it. And there are so many reasons why we failed on the price front. So 3 steps that we're taking here. So first of all, just to bring it back, a wallpaper app is niche. Paying for a wallpaper is even more niche. And so, like, a subscription to wallpapers is something that I think less than 1% of 1% of people would ever even consider. So if you're looking at panels and find yourself thinking, this seems crazy paying for a wallpaper, you're not wrong. You are most people. So our first priority is we want to make sure the free experience of the app is great. It's got to be way better. So I'm getting rid of those third-party in-feed ads. This was one of my misjudgments. Like, we just don't need those. They feel cheap, And they're also harder to attribute to specific artists anyway. So now the feed is clean. And then
So he had third-party ads on a wallpaper app, really? Which also has like a payment model? I mean, I guess if you're trying to make money off the free version and you have ads, that makes sense. But once again, like, if this was some other guy making like a Raid Shadow Legends clone, I don't think it would even be a problem. $50 a year seems reasonable to me. It's $3 a month less than a coffee. I mean, is it a reasonable price for the product if you want it? Probably yes. Probably yes. But to most people, they don't want to pay anything for a wallpaper. The idea of even paying a cent for it is insane. To most people, to download an app like this, you would have to pay them to download it, right? And like, once again, would I agree with you in any other context? Yes, of course. But this is MKBHD. This is the guy who reviews products. This is the guy who shits on products all the time. And he himself said, if this was anyone else, if this was someone else making the product and he reviewed it, he wouldn't be nice to it. He would shit on it, you know?
non-collections wallpapers are available for free in 1080p, no ads. And if you want the full res, sometimes 4K, sometimes 8K, depending on the art, you can get a full resolution version with a single 30-second ad to try to offset server costs and pay artists. So if you really want it for like a high-res tablet or a computer wallpaper or some big screen in your life, then you can get all of it, any of it, for free. Now, even though subscriptions are incredibly unpopular, we wanted to at least offer one that made sense for the wallpaper power user, for how few of you actually exist. So first of all, we have a new tier that is $2 a month, which is everything I just mentioned, completely ad-free and full resolution, everything across the board. So that means you never have to see another ad, never have to worry about that, and you always get the highest resolution version no matter what screen you're downloading for. I think this is really fair and should hopefully continue to help pay to keep the app running as well. Secondly, we also offer, for those of you who are really into this world, like I said earlier, we support paid art. Collections is what they're called. So there are artists who have really gone out of their way to put a ton of work in on certain pieces they've made and have decided to charge for those collections of pieces. Totally cool. There's a whole world of those too. So if you're...
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Despite me shitting on artists a lot of the time, you know, my genuine belief is that most people who are quote-unquote artists are losers who deserve to be waiting tables forever because they are mentally ill or egotistical and never get any work done. For those who do get work done, I think it's cool for them to get paid, and I actually like this quite a bit. I think it's neat. I still see why people shit on the app, and I don't blame them at all considering the audience he has, but I think it is cool to get some kind of I think it is cool to get some kind of fucking just payment towards artists that are actually working, you know? I think that's nice.
Using panels and you jump in and decide to buy one single collection for $3, $4, $5 or whatever, that's cool. But if there's a bunch of these that you really like, we wanted to give people an option to just unlock literally everything. So that's Panels Plus. So you can subscribe, and for $12, it unlocks literally every single collection in the whole app, plus anything premium that gets added while you're a subscriber. I think as of right now, that entire value of every artist's paid packs, if you paid them individually, is about $100 even before any new art drops. So we settled at $12 because that's around what it would cost if you were purchasing more than 2 collections straight up. And then, in case you're someone who really loves to change your wallpaper, say you're a tech reviewer or something, or you have a whole bunch of devices, then you know you're already gonna commit to this for more than a few months. We wanted to give people the option to just pay for Panels Plus for a year. And we made that $50. So I think that nets to the equivalent of like roughly $4 a month.
Wanting to be an artist and becoming a wallpaper artist must be the equivalent of wanting to become a writer and ending up writing Hallmark cards. I don't think that's a good way to view it. I think that if you are an artist, any way you can make money through that is respectable, and there's nothing wrong with it, you know? If you're an artist, you go to art school, your dream is to become like the album cover artist for fucking Doja Cat, and you end up doing Hallmark cards, I think that's fine. I think that's totally fine. If you can, it's so hard for those who actually do get there. It's so hard to turn any amount of artistic work, whether it's graphic design or video editing or any of that, it's so hard to turn that into an actual job for the majority of people that if you can at all, I think that's really respectable, and I like that a lot, and I think it's nice to see. For any artist that manages to make any amount of living from the stuff they're putting out, it's really cool. House of Banna says art's a human expression. It's the people treating it like a job that are cringe. Well, I hope you enjoy being broke forever as an artist then. I think it's really cool if you can turn it into a job. It's actually really, really respectable and really based. I think it's awesome.
That's the point of why that exists. And I understand that most people will still find forever the $50 number crazy because it's for power users and it seems crazy. But if you happen to be one of those power users, then that's why this tier exists. So at least now you know why. And the third important point is that we're splitting profits with the artists 50-50. This is something I mentioned in the original video. And There's a lot of initial discussion around if this is fair. I think it is. I base this on, to be totally honest, on YouTube, which actually I believe theirs is 45-55, but I did 50-50 to be simple. But the idea is the same, which is that hopefully this whole thing can bring a bunch of extra eyes to the art the same way YouTube tries to. Frankly, there's another thing I'm open to changing. Like, we've set it at that, and now
I mean, I think the 50-50 model is fine because realistically, these artists wouldn't be paid in the first place if they weren't on this app. I mean, maybe they'd be paid somewhere else, but you realize, like, to run an app like this, to have server space, to like do development on it, you have to have a team behind it. It is expensive, you know, and in the first place, like, the guy who's running the app in the first place, who's putting the money down, who's paying these artists before it even gets out, you know, I think that person does deserve to have a return on investment. I don't think that's bad at all, you know.
Are collecting as much information as we can, but I'll be in touch with artists about that too. I do think it's worth noting that this is the main point of the app. Like, this is what I hope it can be, which is a platform for discovering new artists and what they make. And I haven't told anyone this, but I might as well. The artist agreements that we've made, none of them have any exclusivity at all in them, which means artists can host the exact same art and stuff on their own websites. So if you find a piece from watching a video or whatever, you go into panels and then you find their socials and then go find a whole bunch more stuff from that artist and go buy a bunch of that without the 50-50 split, I still consider that a win for everyone involved.
I mean, this seems like a pretty decent response. This guy says he messed up, accepted his mistake, apologized without excuses, reduced 85% of the cost, made it better. I don't think he deserves any more hate after this. I mean, I would agree in general. I'm still surprised that he even launched the product in the first place and didn't think there would be backlash, considering the kind of stuff he's doing. Now, he's obviously getting shit for this other kind of unrelated thing, which I think, you know, if I had to guess, is probably being amplified partially because the kind of MKBHD criticism door has been opened. But it's still not good to, you know, speed 96 miles per hour in a 35 zone while also trying to cover it up. Okay, why people are saying it's a school zone. Crazy how MKBHD pivoted to running over kids. Why is this guy just lying though? Like, what? Why can't you just say the actual criticism without saying that he's running over kids? You're saying that he children in this fucking tweet. Like, this is like slanderous. He didn't kill any children. He didn't actually run over any kids yet, but reckless driving and blurring the speedometer for some sponsored video is crazy. I agree with that, but why do you have to say he killed kids? Why? I don't really get it. His next video better be the lobotomy review. Based though. That's actually based. Yeah, I mean, speeding's not good. I've sped before in my life pretty fast. I got pulled over. I don't really feel bad for myself. I regret it quite a bit. My wallpaper is just a screenshot of one of Tom's dead-eyed open mouth thumbnails to make me feel bad every time I open my phone to Goon. Based.